Welcome back, everybody. It's Friday afternoon, and it's time for another episode of Jiles McCoy Live, the spot for tech, hi-fi, and gaming. Today is episode 304. That's right, season 3, episode 4. And joining us this afternoon is John Lessison from Arendal Sound. I hope I got all that right. Sound good?
Sounds great. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks for having
Welcome
me.
to the show.
Thank you so much, Jiles. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, glad
Awesome
to
be here.
Yeah, so for everybody out there, if you're not familiar with the brand, this is a speaker manufacturer, and they have you've been around for a while, but I would say maybe in the last couple of years, you've become really popular in the United States, and you see people talking about your brand all over the place, right? So I'm really excited to have an opportunity to have you on the show so that you can tell everybody a little bit about what's going on. And I think maybe to get started, let's introduce you, and then we can get into the brand a little bit. But so who are you, and how are you related with the company?
Okay, so yeah, my name is Jan Ove Lassesen. I'm the founder of Arendal Sound. I live in Arendal. It's a small island outside Arendal called Tromøy. I live there with my wife and 2 kids. Passion has always been audio since I was a little kid. My dad had a local store, those typical old traditional stores.
So like a hi-fi shop.
Hi-fi, television, when the color TVs came, and satellite dishes and all those sort of things. So, you had this cassette players with LED and blinking LEDs, all that shiny new things. People were, they were thrown away when they saw that those sort of things came being launched in the 70s, right? So
sure, yeah,
and so I was like, being there for around his, feet all the time, and I was working there too. When I was in my 13, 14 years old, I was starting to work there, and so from that time, I had I was when I did I have 8 years of electronics education, and in electronics, so I tried to kind of do my passion, in the school, and I really liked it, and gained a lot of knowledge. However, that fades when you don't use it that much over time.
I understand.
It's like you have this understanding, but there's a gap between how to do it, and then from you knew what you had in your mind, of your knowledge. That's a frustrating part. But when you have a good team around you, you have an idea, you have something, and then they can take it onwards, right? So I don't need to be the expert anymore. And we started Arendal Sound in 2014. That's when we founded it. We also had an experience from the L Sound when we actually were an importer of other brands. So we took that experience, moved that over to Arendal Sound, founded in 2014, and then we launched the first product range in 2015 of our own products. So the thing is that from my position is that I really love to work here, just like a regular employee. However, I'm the leader of the team and so forth, but it's really extraordinary when you have an A-team level of players around you. Like they say, you need, as a good leader, you need to be the dumbest person in the room. So
absolutely, that is so important.
I'm happy to say I'm the dumbest person in the room. So I have the experts around me. So that's the I guess that's the to leverage the A-team level of a team around me. So
that's this show isn't about management philosophy, but I absolutely agree with that 100%. So outside of the YouTube stuff, I manage a team of technologists, and really it's very important to understand if you want to produce a high performing team, every member has to excel, right? That's the goal. You want A+ players. And I've found that just as you say, if you become the dumbest person in the room, you've done your job building that team. And I think that speaks a lot about your point of view and philosophy around the company. And if you want to surround yourself with people of that caliber, right, that's going to bleed over into the product, into the marketing, into the business operations, right, to really provide your customers with a product that's outstanding. And then a company that can stand behind that product and provide a support mechanism that's outstanding. So yeah, I think that's a really, really good philosophy to have. Now, so when I was looking at the name of the company and whatnot before, I was like, where's this from? So this is named after the city.
Correct. Yes.
So does the city play an important role in your life? It seems like if you're naming the company after that, or maybe it's just, well, all companies here are named after the city that they come. Or is there a special meaning for you to name it instead of Yawn Sound, right? Right?
Yeah, sure. No, I mean, it has a great meaning to us. I mean, we're proud of the small town. It's a super small town. It's like what we call a summer town. It's still in Norway, so you have you have 2 months of sun and above a freezing point, right? So it's just that when there's a lot of activities, we love the town as it is, but everything from being proud of where we come from, why not also promote that in our branding, and also try to help the town to put it on the map, right? But still use the nature, use our local proudness of what we do, what we just like everything in our branding, everything that we speak of, everything that we can show the customers, and how we do things, and not just strive for the generic what everyone else is doing. So we have been using a lot of the local materials, the local the nature, everything that's trying to use what we think, what we are believing in, what our values are. So
that's outstanding. Yeah. So in Norway, correct?
Norway, south of Norway.
All right. So the next time I'm there, I know where I'm going to visit. All right.
Yes.
This is so I do some travel stuff too, right? So I think it'd be wonderful to come there and really put the summer town up front for everyone to see. It's got to be beautiful. I mean, that's great. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the business model of the company, right? Just so people can kind of understand. So have you always been a direct to customer sales company, or do you have dealers? How do people find you? Is it only online, or what's your strategy there?
So when we started L-Sound as an importer of several brands, going consumer direct only in 2005, then we used everything that we learned from that process, and then moved everything, our know-how, over to Arendal Sound when we founded that in 2014. So when we started, we had hundreds of dealers and distributors wanting to kind of resell our products, to bring the products back in, and we kind of kindly turned them down because it was not under our ethos. And to us, we just don't strive to make the most money. We just want to make this as an experience for ourselves, and especially for the customers. And by doing that, to please our own ego, so to speak, you have to fill the ego. So it's an important thing in the long run, but still, that it's the customers always, right? So when you want to have the customer in the front seat, you have to have the control of how is that singular, unique customer being treated. And to us, that is only the one way, is doing consumer direct. It takes longer time to progress. It takes longer time. Everything takes longer time, right? Because we do individual sales instead of throwing out containers in the market. But as soon as you do that, you lose the control, and it's not that you need the control itself, but you need to have the control that the customer is taken care of under our own values, how we want to see that customer being treated, because that's what we build on. It's all the customer experience from they visit our website, what they read on the forums, when they come into us, getting into our customer support team, the customer experience journey, when it starts, when they've been guided, taken care of from our side, if they made a purchase, also we don't let them go, we follow them up, shipping, whatever it is, if they have support. To us, it's just not like a singular product sale, moving boxes. To us, it's more, we don't care about the boxes, we care about the customer journey. That is key to us. So that's why we are uniquely invested in customer support, that too, but customer direct, consumer direct, the concept. I have to be honest, we have tried some few international dealers, but we have now we are just doing e-commerce, only consumer direct, because we saw that it was failing right away when we tried that kind of out. And also there's no margins for the dealers either. So there's never like a satisfaction of the dealer too, because they will always ask for more. But we can't do it, because when people are actually seeing our products, we have never seen someone saying we are charging too much. There's always, we are biased, obviously, that it's our brand.
I hope so. Yeah.
I can't help it. But when the customer sees it, then they understand this is a extraordinary premium product for the price tag. So if we added dealers, if we added distributors, the customer couldn't expect this kind of price level of the premium products, because it just adds so many levels. So it's just a simple math. If you see a brand doing both, they either have too much margin, overpriced products, maybe, or they cut corners on the product. It's that simple to us.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, you can't do everything. You can't, no. So either the customer needs to pay for it, or they can come to us, to the kind of the brand experts, that we take care of them. We have 100% risk-free for the US market and also the European market. We pay for shipping, we pay for return shipping. They have 6 days buy and try. So which is amazing, by the way. I mean, that there is such value in just those three things, free shipping, free return shipping if people need to, and then 60 days. I mean, that is amazing. And also in terms of the long risk-free process, we have 10 years warranty. We have, however, 5 years on electronics, but for the speakers itself, the cabinet, whatever it is, it's 10 years. Even for our 9061, I wouldn't say entry level, but it's our entry level. It's still premium, but when you come to our website, you have 9061, the entry level, sort of the lowest range. Still premium, whatever the high-end products can match up with, but still, that is also 10 years. So everything that we have is having a 10 years warranty.
Well, I think that's a good way for us to segue into the products, right? So, people are like, okay, this sounds great, but what do they sell? What do they make? Let's talk a little bit about your product portfolio and maybe some of your design and construction philosophy around that stuff, as far as materials and those kinds of things go.
Yeah, I mean, so it's purely home audio speakers and subwoofers. And we aim only for excellent build quality and performance. We could cut corners. We could cut corners easily in many ways. So we started with the 1723 line. that's kind of where the Arendal, that's where everything started. So that's when the official statement that it was like an when the town was
founding of the
original
city.
founding
Right.
of the city. Yes,
Yeah, Arendal.
1723. That
Yeah,
was
I was
kind of
like,
when
I was so confused with the product numbers. I'm like, okay, is it 17 2.3 inch speakers or one 723? Because a lot of times people will put, our companies will put like the, the number of speakers and the sizes of the model, but it's the year of the founding of the city. See, it all comes
right.
back around, right? It's all, the city is so important.
Correct. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just it may be confusing. Even Apple can't get the product lines straight. They are confusing too in some ways, sometimes at least. But there's like, again, we don't necessarily do what everyone else is doing in terms of series and product namings and so forth. So we normally want to have a meaning and a story around whatever we do, right? So there's a, sometimes you don't see it, but when you see it, it gives a meaning. So 1723, that was what we launched in 2015. That was everything when started. So we thought, okay, that's when we started. Let's call it 1723. That was it. Some few years later, we launched the 1961. It's actually the year when the bridge between the mainland of Arendal and my island, Tromøy, was built, the bridge in 1961. Okay.
So before then, well, okay, that was 61. So was your father or your parents living on the island then before the bridge?
Yes. So they were using boats.
Yeah, I was going to say that boating time. Awesome.
Yes. So luckily we have progressed since then. And so that's kind of where we felt like when you have a premium product in the 1961 for the masses, right? So we use that as a metaphor in terms of building the bridge, providing the premium speakers for everyone, right? Just a play of numbers and the story around it, right?
Right.
So that's it. So 1961, 723. No matter that the 1961 is a lower priced level speakers, they are smaller. They have lesser, smaller drivers and so forth, but still built on the same philosophy, sound, HDF cabinets, real paint finish, even if it's a lower range product. So there's no vinyl. We never wanted to have a vinyl product.
Right.
We hate it. We could cut corners for more profits, but we want to keep the premium level. So that's why I say that the 1961 is definitely not an entry-level product, but in our ecosystem, it is.
Right. It's the entry into your ecosystem, but it's a very high quality product. Now, for the 1723 and the 1961, you have towers, bookshelf speakers. You also have a line of what look like to be kind of larger than bookshelf monitor type style speakers. Is that right?
Yes. So we have big towers, and then we have the step down is the monitor, and that's a kind of the monitor, the MTM solution, and then we have the bookshelves. Then we have a unique a surround speaker. It's a triaxial system design, which you can also remove the jumpers, so you can just use it as a directional speaker. That's for the surrounds, and then also we have height speakers in both series.
Are those kind of like toppers for the top of the towers?
In the 1961, we have design. Yeah, the 1961 height speakers. That's a really more compact solution. That's what you can also put it on the top of the tower on the 1961, but also most people are using it on the wall or in the ceiling for the best experience. But for in the 1723, that's not designed to be on the top of the speakers, only on the wall or in the ceiling. So that's
Gotcha.
a big, massive height speakers, top of the line in the market.
Awesome.
That's for sure. Yeah.
Right. And then on outside of these, you also offer a number of subwoofers in both of the 1961 and 1723 lines. Is that correct?
That's correct. So we have total six subwoofers. So two subwoofers in the 1961 series. They use a 550 watt amplifier, 12.2 inch drivers, one in sealed and then one in vented. So two different versions. On the 1723, we have four subwoofers. So 1723 subwoofer 1S means a one driver sealed, and then we have 1B, that's a one driver vented, and then we have a dual drivers. Then we have 2S, two drivers sealed, and then also 2V, two drivers vented. So it's like different versions of using one and two drivers at the same solutions.
Right on. Yeah. And I'm going to create some content around the 2V, and I have one sitting in my garage right now. And let me tell everyone, it's big and it's heavy. That's as far as I've made it so far, but it's large. You definitely will know that it's there. So I'm really excited to get this on the test bench, take it down to the theater, and put it through the paces. So very excited for that. And there's a lot of content out there. So if people want to see the speakers, right? I mean, we live in a great time. You can go to the website, you can look at all the details, right? But then both on the website and then just in Google or on YouTube, if you want to, you can search for all of the models. And there's going to be content to help you understand, different people's opinions, get different points of view and really see them in action. So it's really nice that you can almost feel like you have experienced them in a certain way before you even have them in your home, because there's so much content out there about them. So you whoever does your marketing, that team, thumbs up. I mean, they're doing a really wonderful job helping people understand your product, your brand, and what it might be like for people to own the speakers before they pull the trigger on the purchase. That's cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
And speaking of people needing to understand and how they can make decisions around purchasing, if someone wanted to ask more questions, do you have customer service where they could say, hey, I have a room and I want to do this, what do you recommend? Is there a way for people to engage with your customer service from that point of view?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think that's where we are really shining, in terms of that's where we invest most of the HR resources in the team. It's all about the customer support and everything, so around it. And it's just they can reach us through email, live chats, phone calls, or that they can also arrange to set up a schedule of live video calls with our team. Yeah. And so when they contact us, they don't reach out to a salesperson. We don't hire sales persons. We hire only caring personnel who wants to help the customer as a guide. That's the only thing that we do. They have to have the emotional connection, the emotional intelligence to connect with the customer, because we don't look at numbers. We don't look at when they see a customer, they don't see money. They see a customer with a need, questions. They have maybe some pain points. They may have they need someone to guide them in the right direction. So we go through with genuine questions like the room, their needs. We all have different needs, right? So when whatever channel they reach out to, they will get someone from a brand expert. I mean, so there's no general sales pitches or whatever. It's just they come to us, they have a need, we try to find out what that need is, help them out with maybe something that they already have, or that something that they want to buy to solve their needs as the kind of the outcome of it. So we look at customers differently, maybe not, from everyone, but most out there, there's no sales pitches. There's only caring for the customer. That's kind of the only need. That's the only need they need to be covered, right? It's just when you come into a store that you need something, you don't need sales pitches. You just need to find what's the best product solution for you, not for the sales guy with the best margin, driven by the margins, right? So
Right.
if you came in and say, hey, I have this room, I have this need, I have tons of money, we don't go for the top level of the product range.
Right.
We just, it's like, okay, we hear you. So we don't use that as a limitation, but we use that as a, we want to hear your story and what. So we go back and forth maybe tens of times with one singular customer. If that takes 3 months, we'll stay in it. We don't give up. You will never get an arrogant feedback. It's like, hey, enough questions. Are you going to buy or not? Because there's a lot of money invested, right? It's just hard-earned money. So we respect every cent of it because we know how much difficult it is. It's easy to spend and hard to get. So
what a wonderful philosophy. Yeah, I mean that's outstanding. And when I think about the purchase process, when you're spending what isn't trivial dollars, right? I mean, this is real money from real people that have real needs. It's nice to know that there are going to be people there that what they're interested in is making sure you have the right solution and not trying to find the easiest way to part you from your dollars, right? And from the most that they can get. So that's really, really important. And I think people should recognize that is not the philosophy that every other company has. So I appreciate that. Well done. As we wind down the episode today, is there anything on the horizon for the company? Where do you see yourselves going in the next 10 years? Any new stuff, any tidbits that you can point our way?
I definitely hope that we have progressed in 10 years from now. The definitely is that we are working on products, right? Always. We are an audio company. We have to be always looking for what we believe in, what the customer needs. And we will definitely not be a company for everyone. I think that's it's important to define the success rate of the few niche products. Those have to be killers. No doubt, shouldn't be any questions about it. But we will never be having headphones starting at $29 and then up to flagship speakers worth of $1 million. Never. We will be where we are to try to really optimize and leverage where we have our growth success right now. And then because that's kind of what we know, and then also what the customers are reflecting to as well. So that's kind of the first one. What we always are going to have a top priority is definitely improve the customer experience journey. That's more important to us than product. Without the customer experience journey to be on top of everything in the future, when everything is escalating so rapidly in terms of how customer communicates and what their expectations are and so forth, that's it doesn't matter with a great product if that doesn't kind of support it. But obviously we are always active stuff is always active speakers, active goes into the functionalities, to offer a customer a better experience. Again, the experience part of it, not just kind of widening out the product range. But whenever that comes, we don't stress with those sort of things, because when we launch things, whatever that is, it has to be great. It has to be kind of a killer product. We don't want to launch just because a sales team, marketing team is requiring it based on certain factors. It's just we launched this when we know it's the perfect product. So, but there's no near future plans to launch anything right now. But again, we are always investing into development, R&D. Most of them are failing, right? It's just you have to research, you have to develop protos and whatever from our mindsets of that starting point, and it's like, okay, that was not what we expected or something like that. So it's always a progress.
Absolutely.
So, but you just need one good outcome out of maybe tens. So
that's right. It's all about where you end the journey at, right? And the process can be bumpy, but as long as you get to the destination, that's great. Jan, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure hearing the story of the company, of your home. And I'm sure that we're going to have a plane load of people flying to visit one of these days soon. I think that would be outstanding. But again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Jiles. Thanks for having me.
Yep. And then for everybody else out there, thank you so much for watching. I know your time is valuable, so thank you for spending it with us today. If you like the content, please hit the buttons down below, like and subscribe. And this is now a podcast as well, so you can find us on all your favorite podcast platforms. So it's not just YouTube anymore. We're spreading through the world. And with that, everybody, thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video.